Hey guys, so today's video is going to be about why I will never ever in my life do keto again. Okay, so let me give you a little bit of backstory first. So in 2011 I got I got my gallbladder taken out, and in 2014 is when I decided to start keto, and I lost a good amount of weight on keto and I was loving it. I did it for about a year and a half, and I think I lost about 80 pounds on keto. And it was great and everything, and it kept the cravings away, and I was able to stick with it, and it was like that was going to be my lifestyle change for the rest of my life. Well, in the beginning of 2015, I had actually got sick from gastrointestinal issues, and it was like really hurting my stomach. My stomach was hurting and I couldn't figure out why, and I couldn't eat and I couldn't keep anything down. I couldn't even drink water and keep that down because I would throw it up. And I just couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. So I went to the ER, and the emergency room doctors couldn't figure out what's wrong. And they were just like, gave me some pain pills, basically. No, they gave me some pain medicine in an IV, and they sent me home. Well, I kept having the issue over and over and over again, like every 2 or 3 days. And so it got to the point where the emergency room doctors started not to believe me. They thought that maybe I was some, dope fiend trying to come in and get, pain medicine, but that was not the case. Like, they just couldn't figure out what was wrong with me, and neither could I. So finally, on one of my ER visits, they decided to give me a recommendation, or a referral to a specialist, a gastrointestinal specialist. And so when I went to see him, he was the one who actually found out what was the cause of my problem. And to this day, I'm just like, he's a godsend at this point. Okay, so he prescribed me Nexium, and that was to cure first of all, he did an endoscopy of my stomach, and he, checked it out to make sure everything was okay, and everything was fine. It was just that my acid levels were high in my stomach. So he prescribed me Nexium, and then he was just like, take this, and see how it does. It was actually like the wake-up call that I needed. Like, it was the, godsend that I was looking for. So the Nexium worked, everything was fine, but then I ended up getting pregnant. At the end of 2016, I ended up getting pregnant. So I didn't want my baby on, to get any of the Nexium, and I didn't know if the doctors kept telling me like, no, it's gonna be okay, but I just really was not sure about that, and I didn't want my baby born with any kind of like birth defects or anything like that. So I ended up just cutting the Nexium off cold turkey. And actually, while I was pregnant, I didn't have any kind of symptoms at all. Like, I was totally fine. But the thing is, I can't eat hot sauce, tomatoes to a limitation, and I can't eat chili spices, like no kind of hot stuff ever. I cannot eat that stuff. So, but tomatoes and ketchup are kind of okay, with me right now. So after I had my son, I ended up debating whether or not I should go back on the Nexium, or whether I should just wait it out. So I ended up waiting it out to see if everything was going to be okay. Everything started to be fine, but now I had the dilemma of the weight being back on again. Now I had ballooned all the way up because I was back eating carbs, because I was afraid that the acid levels in my stomach would be too much because the amount of food that I wasn't eating, like it was just, not enough food in my stomach, basically. And that's what made my acid levels rise. So I ended up eating more carbs, which meant I gained more weight. And so while I was pregnant, I had to eat more. So I ended up gaining even more weight. And so after I had my son, it was, you know, I was thinking about getting the weight off again, but now what do I do? I can't go back to keto because of my, you know, the acid levels in my stomach. So what do I do? Currently I'm just on a, portions, you know, just watching my portions and making sure that I don't eat too many carbs, like overeating stuff or crap that I really don't need to eat. Basically, that's what I'm doing at this point. I can't see myself going back on keto because of the acid levels in my stomach. Like, I think that the reason why the acid levels were so low were because I wasn't eating enough. Like, I was feeling full because of the protein and the fat that I was eating. It makes you feel full, but at the same time, there's not much in your stomach. So that's how you end up losing the weight. And I guess my body just couldn't deal with that. So that's my personal journey with keto. I'm not sure how anybody else or how I would react to anybody else, but at this point, I believe that maybe if I hadn't have done the spices and the hot sauce recipes, you know, it was different kinds of recipes that called for spicy things. And so I wonder to this day, like, if I hadn't ate those recipes or, you know, overindulged in those recipes, would I still be okay with keto today? But at this point, I'm just not willing to try it because I don't want to be back in the ER. And I don't want to be back on pills again. So I can't take that risk. And that's the reason why I'm never doing keto again. You could definitely try it if you choose. That is your choice. It does work. I'm going to say if you put in the time, the effort, the dedication, and you're motivated to get the weight off, it can work for you. But at the same time, you have to consider the fact that if your health is at risk, it may not be something worthwhile doing. So that's it. Right now, I'm not tracking my eating. I'm not tracking what foods I'm putting in my mouth. I'm just watching portions and doing portion control at this point. I don't know how much I've lost since I've had my son. When I had my son, I was 240 pounds all over again. But I don't know how much I weigh now because I haven't weighed myself in a long time, like maybe in about 8 months. So I figure once my clothes start fitting better in a better, you know, way to me, then I'll probably start weighing myself. But right now I'm not going to weigh myself. I'm just going to wing it and see what happens. Also, I have been breastfeeding, but that does not seem to do anything for my weight loss. I know a lot of women say that helps them. It hasn't really helped me because it just gives me more cravings. It just makes me hungrier. Like I feel like I'm starving half the time. So I don't even know, but I'm one of the women it doesn't work for. But my son's 2 now and I'm still breastfeeding because he's not ready to let go. So I'm not sure if the weight will, you know, come off after I'm done or what, but the only time will tell for that. So stay tuned for that update. Okay, guys, thank you for watching. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if this video was helpful to you. And I'll see you guys in the next video.